Hello and welcome back. It's been an interesting go. This is the fourth episode. I decided to sort of ad-lib this one, just kind of throw it out there. I had a very strong set of thoughts hit me this week, and it's interesting the kind of conversations you can get into with people, and I've just had a really interesting time. I'll post something informative, and like on social media or something, and people won't like it, and they'll just go after it. And I'm not really understanding what it is. I think that people just feel like they polarize and they entrench. It's tribalism, and if you say something or you share something from one side that's not theirs, they feel the need to attack it. They don't like listening to it. So I'm not going to talk about the things that I shared, the articles I shared. I shared some things about COVID-19, about some of the stuff that I was talking about with the last blog. But this time I'm talking about the future and where things are going to go. And I think a lot of people have worried. They're worried sick about what's going to happen, but a lot of people don't realize how bad it could get. And I'm going to begin this conversation with the fact that there are two moralities. There's real morality and there's fake morality. And right now in America, we have a lot of fake morality. What is fake morality? Basically, and I've touched on this before, but basically fake morality is morality that comes out of privilege. Where basically you can afford to be nice to people because you're already well off and you can't be hurt. You feel secure. So when people have a sense of security and a sense of protectedness, then they can afford to be nice. They can afford to be charitable. They can afford to give. All of a sudden, philanthropy becomes a means of power rather than a means of survival between family members or struggling members of a community. Real morality is where someone has a true theological, philosophical conviction to help those around them. And that stands up against pressure. I should say that because a lot of people that have fake morality will have a moral code, and they'll say that they'll rely, of course, on having strong moral values philosophically. But when the pressure's on, that goes away, and they will represent themselves. And that's something I'm starting to see more often, is people just representing themselves. There's no goodwill anymore. Now, I'm not saying there isn't any goodwill. It's just it is disappearing among people who don't have that core. They're willing to sacrifice others for themselves. And fear is great at bringing that out of people. Because when push comes to shove, and people are afraid, we can all criticize the guy in the movie who, in the monster attack scene, and he takes the little kid and pushes him in the way of the monster, and you think, oh, what an evil guy that is. That's so evil. Yeah, well, you don't know humanity. You've been privileged to live in a society that has had a lot of fake morality. There's a lot of people willing to do that. They're willing to put anybody else in front of them in order to be safe. Anyone. And they're willing to sacrifice anyone else's values so that they can have their ultimate everything they want. We talked about on one of my last blogs how people are willing to sacrifice others' liberties or their lives, their well-being, for the opportunity not to be offended or to feel actualization. That should be wrong. It should strike somebody as wrong. But of course, people do it. But people do that, especially when, times like this, when the stress is on and people are looking to survive, people are struggling. Those with fake morals will be unearthed. And those with true morals will also be unearthed. I think it's interesting how we've spent all this, Hollywood spent billions of dollars in the television industry, and comic books is another industry, literature, fiction. We write all these tales about heroes and how people long for a day of heroes and heroism and people that'll stand up to evil men and women and make sure that the innocent are protected. I'm telling you that time is going to come. I'm telling you that there's already heroes now who do that, who sacrifice themselves to stand up for those who cannot, against those who would seek to hurt them. And it's going to be time for heroes to stand up and take action. Heroes don't always look like what Hollywood shows you. Hollywood fabricates heroes out of the likeness of the person who's fantasizing it. And so real heroes throughout history hardly ever look like that. If you can look at real heroes throughout history, and they always have a strong moral conviction that is 9 times out of 10 it's religious, but a lot of times it's dedicated to a community, to a family. It's out of love, it's out of respect, it's out of necessity, and because they love somebody, they're willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good or for others, and they blaze a path for us. They're people that show that humanity still has goodness in it. There's something beyond selfish, kill or be killed objectivism. It's there's something beyond the carnal need to evolve and survive. That's animalistic. And you're going to see people who have had fake morality, who have only done it to virtue signal, to look good, because it benefits them somehow, or it's a means of power and influence. You're going to see them fall off the wagon when they are threatened, when this thing finally threatens people. You're going to see them shout at others. You're going to see them rage. You're going to see them produce hatred. And you'll see people become villains before our very eyes. There's already people that are villains right now in politics, in media, everywhere. In every part of society, there are villains right now who are willing to sacrifice others and lie, cheat, steal, and destroy in order to get what they want and preserve themselves. And I think that you're just going to see that get much, much bigger. And it is a time for heroes to step up. It's a time for people. And, there's so many good fantasies about regular people, regular men and women who step up and become heroes by making a choice to sacrifice. And I'm telling you right now, there's going to come a time when we are going to need to step up soon. And start now, but soon. There's a need for us to step up and oppose people who are evil, who look to do evil and look to destroy in our own backyard. Not even on a foreign level or high political office level. We're talking about in our own backyard. You're going to have to step up and oppose people. And we haven't had to do that in a while. Everyone's been so wealthy. They've been so well off. Nobody cares. There's hardly a reason to. It's like the worst you get is, some guy cuts in front of another guy in a parking lot. And most people, that's what they experience. Obviously, there are people that experience murders and crimes and rapes and molestations, and there are people that experience those things. And there are, the heroes are the people who step in and prevent those things and report them and seek justice. But, I think those atrocities in general and the selfishness is about to become more real for people. And there's going to be a dividing. When all this fluff is gone and all the wealth falls away, you're going to find out who people really are. Do they really have moral conviction to watch out for others, to actually have love in their hearts? Or are they deep down inside, are they really genuinely selfish? Are they going to represent themselves? Be prepared, because that is going to happen. Anyway, thanks for listening in on this. I've had a great time talking about it. I just thought I would put this out there tonight. I thought it was on my mind. I wanted to get it out there, want to talk with you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Talk to you next time.